Everyone, my name is Sisong Akpanudo and this is the cloud solution proposal for Ivana's community center. So in the next few minutes, I'll cover the cloud model we choose and why it fits, how we'll implement it using SaaS, that's software as a service, with service level management, the key security risks and mitigations, and a clear recommendation with benefits and also the remaining risks. So we are going to start with the current state and what our business needs. So here we can see that Ivana's Community Center runs programs and events with a small staff and rotating volunteers. So today we are currently using Lula Fiber as our ISP with a 150 megabyte per second of downloads and 170 Mbps of uploads. So we have a VLAN capable Wi-Fi, a small NAS for flyers and policy, and a basic website. So our pain point, that's our current problems, is that the web updates are manual and it's normally slow for during promotions. The backups are always inconsistent, and onboarding and offboarding for volunteers needs a faster, repeatable process because it was always very slow, and we did not have we do not have MFA, multi-factor authentication, so there's a higher chance of account taking over. So our design goal here is to keep operations simple, resilient, and of low cost. So we'll move on to the next. Our service model and business value. So we choose SaaS first, software as a service first, um, model for email and documents, and for the vendors we're going to use Microsoft 365 or Google Workspace, and a small PaaS, platform as a service, and serverless footprints for the website. So that combination gives us business value immediately, lower admin overhead, faster updates, built-in version history for files, and painless onboarding for volunteers. So the deployments we use a public cloud with a blue-green release and an optional CDN. So pages stay faster during event peaks. So this keeps us focused on community work, not server maintenance. So move over to the next implementation, that SaaS as and levels and service level management. So on implementation, the website runs two instances across availability zones, and we deploy using the slots slash or the revision swaps. That's our blue-green model. Then for storage and backups, we are going to use object storage with versioning and immutability, and also lifecycle rules to archive older copies after 30 to 90 days. Then for the service level management, we are going to track the SLA and SLOs of 99.9 to 99.99% depending on the vendor. So we'll set our budget to 80% to 100% alert, publish a monthly cost report, and also target our RPO of 24 hours and RTO of 4 hours with quarterly restore tests. For the network and data management, the network is simple and robust. Staff and guest VLANs feed the firewall, then the internet, then SaaS and PaaS services. DNS is managed in a hosted zone with a short time to live during cutovers, so we can flip safely during releases. Email integrity, we use SPF, DKIM, and DMARC. That's DMARC. So we are going to front the site with a CDN to catch images and PDFs, cutting latency for visitors and offloading our origin. And also for the data locality, we will choose a primary region that is very close to our users and keep cross-region backups for resilience. So for the security, common risks, and the mitigations. So our common risks are familiar, phishing, which leads to taking over of the accounts, misconfigured storage links, and ransomware on endpoints or the NAS. So we are going to mitigate this by enforcing a tenant-wide multi-factor authentication and least privilege, enabling the DLP, centralizing login and alert, and using immutable backups with quarterly restore drills operationally. And we are never going to use SSH into production if something breaks, so we redeploy from a known image. So we'll also run a quarterly and access reviews and follow a short incident run book, which is identify, contain, eradicate, recover, and capture the lessons learned. So for the next slide, governance, compliance, and cost. So the governance is basically lightweight, but it's real. So an access and acceptable use policy and a data retention and backup policy. Changes will go through a pull request and the blue-green run books. So for compliance, we pick regions deliberately and also keep the DPS with vendors. And we are going to use encryption at rest and in transit. So to control costs, we require tags, that is the project, the owner, and the environment function, and also set budget to 80 to 100% alert and send a monthly target cost report, so nothing basically drift. So for our vendors, the next slide is on the vendors and SLA. So we validated two vendor pays that we are likely going to use or choose from. So first one, Microsoft gives the Microsoft 365 plus Azure app services with strong identity controls and availability zone backed site. And also the SLA up to 4 nines when run across zones. So Google gives Google Workspace plus the Cloud Run with simple onboarding for volunteers and a regional 495, that's 99.95 percentage SLO with clear credit tiers. So both services, both provide service credits if they miss uptime commitment. So we can choose either path depending on whether we prioritize volunteer simplicity or the extra 9 for the website. So for the next slide, the risks, benefit, and cost control. So the risks, the benefits we're going to have is it will include the faster releases, high availability, easy onboarding, tested recovery, and predictable spending. So the residual risks remain the ISP or DNS missteps, ongoing phishing attempts, vendor locking. But we address them with run books, short time to live during cutovers, multi-factor and DLP, and also portability via the ISC and exportable formats. Cost governance stays tight through the required tax as the budget and monthly reporting. My recommendation and next steps. So we My recommendation is that we should adopt, we're going to adopt SaaS, software as a service for collaboration, and PaaS for the website. We're going to keep the blue-green releases and enable the CDN. And in the next 30 to 60 days, we'll finalize the vendor selection. We'll enable immutable backups and run a restore test. And also we'll publish the onboarding and offboarding SOP and pilot the CDN. So thank you for your time. I'm happy to answer the questions. Thank you.